Somewhere in the universe, there is an object so large that if you replaced our sun with it, the sun would be like a single grain of sand next to a football stadium, and that thing is a black hole. Not just any black hole, the largest one we have ever found. Today we're going to go on a journey. We start at the smallest black holes in the universe, and we scale all the way up to this monster. Let's go. Before we begin, what even is a black hole? Simple answer. It's what happens when a massive star dies. It collapses under its own gravity, creating a point in space so dense, so heavy, that not even light can escape it. That's why it looks black. Light goes in, nothing comes out. Now, black holes come in very different sizes. Think of them like dogs. You've got Chihuahuas, tiny but real. You've got Labradors, medium. And then you've got something so big it shouldn't exist. Let's start at the bottom. First up, stellar black holes. These are the smallest type. They form when a star about 20 times bigger than our sun explodes in a supernova and collapses. The result is a black hole roughly 10 to 24 kilometers across. That sounds big, but in space terms, that's basically nothing. In fact, if you could somehow shrink the entire Earth down to the density of a stellar black hole, it would be roughly the size of a marble. The Earth, a marble. Now let's scale up to something called an intermediate black hole. These are 100 to 100,000 times the mass of our sun. We don't fully understand how they form yet. They're kind of the missing link in black hole science. Scientists have found some hiding inside globular star clusters, basically giant balls of thousands of stars packed together. But here's where it gets serious. Both of these, stellar and intermediate, they're just the warm-up act. The real show starts now, because at the center of almost every large galaxy in the universe, including our own Milky Way, sits a supermassive black hole. And these things make everything we just talked about look like a speck of dust. Let's start with the one closest to home. At the center of our Milky Way galaxy lives a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A star. It is 4 million times the mass of our sun. 4 million suns. In 2019, scientists photographed a black hole for the very first time in history. It was in a galaxy called M87, and that black hole is 6.5 billion times the mass of our sun. To put M87 star in perspective, is wider than our entire solar system. Our entire solar system. But even M87 star is not the biggest. As we look deeper into the universe, we find things called ultramassive black holes. These are black holes with billions, sometimes tens of billions, of solar masses. One of them is called Holm 15A star, sitting at the center of a galaxy cluster 700 million light-years away. It weighs in at 40 billion solar masses. That's 40 billion suns. Gone. Eaten. Compressed into one point. You'd think 40 billion solar masses is the ceiling, right? That's as extreme as nature gets. You'd be wrong. What comes next is in a different category entirely. Scientists weren't even sure something this big could exist. Meet TON 618, a quasar. It formed when the universe was still young. TON 618 has a mass of 66 billion times our sun. Let me repeat that. 66 billion suns. Its event horizon, the point of no return, is 1,300 times wider than the distance between Earth and the sun. And the crazy part? We have almost certainly not found the largest black hole in the universe. The universe is 93 billion light-years wide, and we've explored a tiny fraction of it. TON 618 is just the biggest one we know about. We are quite literally less than a grain of sand in an ocean we've barely dipped our toes into. And somehow, we looked up. We pointed our telescopes, and we found it. A 66 billion solar mass monster, 10 billion light-years away. That's either the most terrifying thing you've ever heard, or the most beautiful. Maybe it's both. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. It just is, and it's extraordinary. Next video, we're going to ask what actually happens if you fall into one of these black holes. Trust me, it's weirder than you think. If you want more of this, subscribe. It's free. See you in the next one.